explosive arrow. Jesus, it's a lot of objectives. Should I just do a standoff? First group of enemies.
하루.
That's the jungle, right?
Just Betty. Here, you! Here!
Negium Harsinta.
Jasem be! чи харгу.
Чи юу харсан?
Zumtal havas nicht irson.
Эд баян бэлэн гэж мэд.
Нөгөө самурай чин
Ой, өнөөхийг чи харлаа.
Solari. Zotoch chatechwe. Тэрхя горте.
Ямар нэг юм буцаад ирж
Ошо.
Тэрнчтэй
Solari цэг.
ямар ч юм.
тэнд байна.
이제 쇼부.
Одоорой.
도쇼. 무쇼. 도쇼.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, hello.
Yeah. We can play Dark Tide.
Yeah, let me know when I just started Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay. I'll ask Luffy also for the Ascent. We can play in the evening from.
Yeah, same. We continue. Probably finish the rock, so don't have to come back to it.
Yeah.
Dark Tide, it's like a bit like we should probably do another session of FBC Fire Break because it's only 3 players and the one match is around almost 50 minutes long. It's quite.
There's no tutorial for that game.
There isn't any tutorial in the first match, but as soon as you finish the first match, you get a tutorial on how to upgrade, let's say. So it walks you through how you can acquire perks, how you can upgrade your weapons and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's relatively easy to understand, but I think the mission variety is what is lacking right now.
Okay.
Nevertheless, I think try one match because it's in the Control universe. So it's actually fun to play, but not for a long period. Also because the missions take way too long at this point. I think mission should have been, they should have targeted a mission completion time of 20 to 30 minutes as opposed to, it took, the last mission we played, it took 55 minutes for us to complete. That's quite insane. 55 minutes in a mission, it's like you're tired by the time you're done with one mission. Yeah.
So I did play with randoms.
I think that also took some 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
ご遠慮なくご覧ください。
I see. So then maybe it depends on the mission type. Because which type of mission did you play? what is it that you do at the end of the mission?
I think it was basically, I was in some, I don't even remember. There was this fire tunnels. And you had to go through, people were throwing, I didn't understand, I was just following whatever these guys are doing. They're throwing these drums, filling the drums and throwing the drums.
Correct. Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, that is also the first mission I played. Because that is, I think the first mission it unlocks for you. You can't play the others until you complete this.
Achha.
Yeah, it's a you just at the end you have to transport a bunch of irradiated barrels to furnace, and once you're done with that, you have to come. The end of every mission is always come back to the same elevator or lift that you started the mission in. That's not very abundantly clear in the beginning. So you're just standing there and defending endless waves of enemies, and then somebody in the team realizes that you have to come back. Because the end of the mission, that mission especially, there is a elevator or a lift at the end. So you think you press a button and you just wait there for the lift to come. It's actually a button you press to close the furnace. But it looks like an elevator. It looks like an IKEA elevator. So everyone is just standing there and defending. There's endless groups of enemies coming in. Yeah, that mission is a bit weird. The next mission was a mission called Sticky Notes, where you actually have to wet a bunch of sticky notes and destroy them.
Wow.
It is kind of quirky and fun, and but you have to destroy. Initially you're given, I think, a mission to destroy 50,000 sticky notes, and then it becomes 100,000 or something, and it just becomes very tiring. And then you have to defeat a monster called Sticky Note Monster. It's when you coordinate and do it right, like if everyone sort of understands what's going on, then it's very quick. Like it gets over very quick, but it's just hard to coordinate.
I'm having a hard time trying to understand what do I have to do in the game and how to use certain weapon. I had this charge electric weapon something. I was unable to understand how to even use that.
Yeah. So the thing is, the unless you spot things, the map. It does not have 3D. You know how you see 3D spotted enemies in Battlefield, right? Like there is no such thing in the map. So unless you spot things, you don't know. So it's more of a slightly hardcore version wherein it's not abundantly clear what you can do with your tools until and unless you figure it out for yourself or you spot it for your friendlies. So yeah. I also started with the charged. So there are 3 classes, right? Fixer, who has a wrench icon. He has a wrench with him, and his job is to fix things. Anything that is broken, you can fix it. The one with the charge, like on the electricity icon, is a person who can bring things to life through charge. So for example, if an area is very dark, you can just go around the area and look for a generator that can start up to give lights. And you are also responsible for starting up the stations that give you ammo as well as health. There are 2 stations. One looks orange in color, the other one looks sort of yellowish green or blue in color, I guess. I'm not really sure what color it is, but those 2 can be started by a generator. For the generator, you have that utility tool which you can use to charge up the generator. In 2 to 3 charges, you can charge it up. So you are essentially responsible for starting things up, and even in places like the boss rooms or like large rooms where you have to fight a horde of enemies, there are things that you can start up using your tool. Similarly, the fixer can fix main circuit boards, broken pneumatic valves, all those plumbing work and everything. So that is what they do. And then there's a third class, which is basically a class that carries a huge water tank in their on their back as a backpack, and then just a hose pipe. They are supposed to be doing damage, but they're carrying water. So the water heals you. So for example, if you are on fire, you can obviously be immediately put out of fire by using the water. There is also, you might have noticed, fire on the floor sometimes, and when you go near it and you press E to put out the fire, you will have to do a bunch of quick time events, EQ, something like that, a combinations of E and Q to put out the fire with your hands manually. Everything like that you can do manually. Like you can fix things manually, you can charge up things manually and all that. But you every class, there are 3 archetypes of classes. Each of them carry a specific utility tool to do just that much faster. So that is the confusion, right? Like if the game doesn't tell you that upfront, or maybe there isn't a tutorial from before you even start the match that you can do these things. That is where I think the disconnect is, because sometimes you spend time putting out the fire and you're standing there with this hordes of enemies around you and you're just pressing EQ, to put out the fire.
Good.
when the
even for taking ammo, I was doing the same.
So for ammo, you have to do that. That is the one place where that is the only thing for which you have to do quick time events. Everything else can be done by people, archetypes. So ideally, it's a 3-player co-op. Each person ideally should be having a different class so that they can all do things much quicker in the game. Besides this, you have like these vaults that you can open to collect materials and stuff. So how you level up is you collect these documents or objects of interest as you play the game. And it doesn't announce a lot of the mechanics directly, but I would say, like, for the first, maybe it's a little bit like Back 4 Blood, which we played briefly on Game Pass. I don't know if you remember. There was a first person Left 4 Dead like video game, right? It's a little bit like that in the sense that I think for the first 5 hours to 10 hours it is generally interesting because you don't know what the hell's going on and you're trying to figure things out. But once you kind of understand the formula and stuff, it's probably not something you will come back and play again and again and again. It would just be one of those things that, hey, it's been a while since we played it, let's just do a session of it and move on. Is that sort of a game. And generally speaking, I think that's been the audience reception as well, because it is from the Remedy world. It is self-published by Remedy. It's not published by Take-Two or some other major publisher. It is actually their IP. They have published it. And it's not been received as well because there has just been a lot of stiff competition there's been so many games, right, in the last couple of months that just completely proliferated the whole industry, but yeah, it's a quirky thing that's on Game Pass that you can come back and play occasionally. But as a horde mode shooter slasher sort of game, Darktide is so much more deeper, so much better, and it is just objectively more immersive to play because it is also very intense, and because it's first person, it's melee, you can't play for maybe more than 2 or 3 matches at a time. It's probably for the better, but it is so much more intense. It is so gritty. The music is by Jesper Kid. The universe is super rich. It's Warhammer universe, so there is a billion different any possible combination of ideas that you think exist in your sci-fi paradigm exists in Warhammer, because it is that big of a universe. It's its own universe of sci-fi things that almost encapsulates every other thing that you would have seen in every other sci-fi movie, right? It's such a huge universe, but this game is just a small tiny part of it. But I think this developer has very authentically captured that whole universe. You'll see when when you start the game, you get the option of playing through a series of campaign missions, which is a good idea to do because it's a series of 4 to 5 or 6 missions that are slightly different from each other, and you're actually playing through it, and you can also play through that in co-op. So it sort of walks you through all the things that you can do in the game. And then you get to the usual sort of start a mission in a group and then go and play, level up, and go back and feel stronger and then play again and so on. So it's also a horde mode game, but out of these horde mode games, Dark Tide is definitely the best, also because it's had the most amount of time, right? It released in October 2023. Vic and I played that for almost 100 to 120 hours when it released. Very quickly the audience dropped off because there wasn't any crossplay between Game Pass and Steam, and I think even today there isn't any crossplay between Game Pass and Steam, which is kind of stupid, because why would you release such a high quality game from technically not a AAA publisher and not have crossplay between two PC platforms, and yet they didn't have it. So it's the sort of game that you sort of have fun with your friends, and it's very challenging to play, but it very quickly ramps up to a very challenging. If you want to play higher difficulties, you really need to understand to master the mechanics, because if you just try to play casually, you will never be able to finish even in the lower difficulties. It's a very, I wouldn't say it's like always sweaty and try hard, but it very quickly becomes that once you start ramping up the difficulty. So it's just best to play. The game literally tells you, like, if you're between levels 1 to 10, play this kind of difficulty. If it's 10 to 20, play this kind of difficulty. Only when you reach 30, even bother going to these difficulties, because otherwise you just don't have the skill points and the, let's say, the weapon powers to the augments to actually play the difficulty. It's very similar to Vermintide. I don't know if you played Vermintide, but I think for a bit Luffy and I played that game.
We played.
You played, right? So it is very similar to Vermintide. It's a more immersive, more I think it's more how do I say, it's a more versatile Vermintide, because you can actually pick classes. All the classes have weapons like guns. Vermintide was even more hardcore in the sense that it mostly, I think for the most part, it had only melee. There were a few classes or evolutions of certain archetypes that could use weapons, but those weapons were like special. You used it for special occasions. In this, you can actually take out your weapon and shoot a lot more often, but still not as often as you would want. You still have to stick to melee. That's what makes it very challenging, because you're like just you throw so many enemies are thrown at you, and it's like what is going on. Yeah, it's again not for everybody. I think it's probably something we can try a few times and see where it goes, and then we can stop. Yeah, but I would say it's really worth trying, like even giving it a shot, right? So much better than all this nonsense AAA garbage that keeps coming out, and we keep trying in co-op and it's all lands flat. Yeah. What else? Let me go here. You played the Ghost of Tsushima?
Yeah, finished.
Finished, huh?
Yeah, long back. I think. Yeah, it's good.
Writing is actually quite good.
I think the best part of the game was actually more than the combat. It was probably the experience.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
The world,
The combat was okay. Like until there is a point you get to know, and then it just gets repetitive a lot. But the world and the story is also pretty decent, pretty good, and pretty good characters also. Good.
Yeah, I thought like it's really well integrated.
Yes.
Open world, I would say. Like after having played this through some degree, I think it's hard to go back to pretty much all the generic open world games feel very less polished compared to this, because it's like they've put efforts in all the fronts. Like the world is not boring to look at, because something is moving on your screen all the time, and it's just so immersive. Like no matter where you stand, it looks very picturesque, and you never get bored. Like the scenery is constantly changing.
Yeah, there's
in a-
certain like small details which actually make it very good. Especially like you don't need to press M and see where to go, but you can just wait for a while and the wind blows and then you just know where to go. That's this certain things are pretty cool.
yeah, yeah. No, the Akira Kurosawa experience is really well captured. Like
Yeah,
it's,
you're playing in that mode.
no, I'm playing in color. I mean, the game is so colorful. I would probably switch to that at some point to see how it looks. But no way, this game is so colorful. Like, why would you sacrifice all of it? I think.
Yeah.
But even what you would normally, so they've very cleverly written some sort of generic open world fetch quest like missions. They've where they've integrated them is into mission threads. So you don't just do a fetch quest, you do some other things, or there's a plot twist, something else happens in the mission and stuff. And it doesn't require too much effort from the developer to make it that way, but more often than not, like all these old, like the last 4 or 5 Assassin's Creeds, right? It's like the missions they lack diversity because they are sort of the same thing. It's just characters say different lines, but then at the end of the day, you end up doing the same thing. Here, it maybe looks like it starts off like that, but then very quickly turns into either a dynamic event or something that you don't expect, right? So I think even the missions that are boring, they're boring for a very short time, and it immediately changes to something else. And that is something they've very consciously done in this game. So that is where I thought, okay, yes, it is definitely repetitive. It has repetitions in mission types as well as, let's say, combat, but it has just enough variety, just enough distractions at the right frequency for you to very quickly forget about it and move on to the next thing. And they've managed to at least hone that formula a little bit better in this game versus others. Seems like a good thing to do.
父さんは
手遅れであった。
カッパの仕業です。
カッパではない。賊だ。
いいえ、こんなひどいこと人には。
追い込まれれば化け物になるのが人というもの。行くあてはあるのか。
赤島におばがおります。
これは父親のものか。
はい。どうもありがとうございます。さようなら。すぐに立ちます。酒井様、その説はどうも。
シノ、無事に着いたのだな。
事なき道中でした。妖怪とは無縁の。今手当ての方法を教わっているんです。
父君も喜ぶぞ。
我らは味方ですよ。
なあ、地頭様。
様と一緒に戦おう。
どんな鎧でも結構です。どんな鎧でも扱います。
礼を言う。
侍にしてもらえるかもしれないぞ。
Yeah, the game, the PC got hanged.
What happened?
The PC. Yeah, got freeze. No. PC. Just now.
お待たせしました。酒井様、十分な素材をお持ちください。 鉄すら切れるでしょう。その太刀が錆を知りません。
Yeah, like I quite like the mission threads and everything. Like it's also made very clear. Like okay, these are all mission threads. You can choose to play them in a certain order.
Yeah.
It's not like you're just you start a mission and you don't know if it's a mission thread or not. You left it 2 days ago. You don't know where to continue it from. It's like there's no context, but you can just go into the menu and see that it's a mission thread. You've completed 3 out of 9 steps. It's very clearly laid out there.
And also the audio is very good. Very good audio. The sound effects and everything.
Yeah.
Pretty powerful. Because I played, this is the only game I have played at my home theater.
Okay.
And
then obviously the audio will.
Obviously, and the wind and everything. Holy shit, I was like, I'm in that space itself. It was damn good. Oh, by the way, oh my God, I can't tell you, the speakers, right, at now current one, clear obscure. I feel it's like in a long while I have not seen any game have this good sound effects in the cinematic shots. Yeah, and it is so good. The speakers are like really doing a great job at that.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the end.
good speakers are You start hearing things that you otherwise wouldn't have paid attention to.
My God, these thumping noises are there in the game. Holy shit.
That game's definitely going for game of something this year.
Good, oh my God.
Came out of nowhere.
I have to yet sit. Shadow was telling me there was this YouTuber, we keep watching his game reviews. He did a kind of a documentary with the developers of the expedition. So yeah, wanting to watch that. So.
Yeah, it's also very. I mean, there has always been an audience for a game like this, but over the last, I would say, 5 to 10 years, there's been fewer turn-based games that, like what Claire Obscure does, like with parry, right? If you remove the parry mechanic from a turn-based game, all the other elements have already pre-existed. Like, if you take some of the best turn-based games, like, I think it is these developers who made, not these developers, Larian I think made Divinity Original Sin 2, but it's a top-down turn-based game. Okay, and if you go back to some of the like 2000s turn-based games, I keep forgetting the name of the studios, huge studios, right, who have somehow forgotten how to make great turn-based games and instead have chosen to shove unnecessary, like the purposeful intent to make every game, every genre of every game into a live service model has actually destroyed many of the
お
gaming
侍様
franchises
お
today.
譲りいた
Live
だくもの
service
は
as in?
ございますか
You know, everything has to be a battle pass, everything has to be season based, everything has to be you know, because then you shoehorn mechanics that are otherwise not compatible sometimes with the genre. Like if you're making a turn based ARPG, why would you make that into a season thing? Because then you have to shove a bunch of generic missions where you go grind, loot and stuff. And it turns out these certain games should never be looters, right? Like even though people gel well with purple color, yellow color, legendary and all that stuff, if you turn everything into that, then the conversation stops being about writing, storytelling, characters, sound design and all that, and it ends up becoming about, you know, if you go to this particular place which you're totally not supposed to go, but then you go there and get this sword or get this piece of armor, you can do this much damage, and then you break the game for yourself, and then you complain that the game is badly designed, and then you lose interest in the game, and then you go and do the same thing with other games because you just can't stop getting yourself your shiny purple legend. You know what I mean? Like certain games are not meant to be played that way, but if you design a game to be played that way, some people are going to gravitate towards it, and that overall negatively reflects on the game design itself. And if you dive deep into why it is what it is, it's all because of some idiot at the top whose only intention is to pay or put as little effort as possible to get the maximum profit out of it. Would just be like everything would converge. That is why all these games became live service, season based, semi-open world or open world games with really poor the writing, the art direction. None of these things were given importance, and with the proliferation of very easy to model or design engines like Unreal engines, you really didn't even have to put effort into creating your own original assets, art assets. Like a rock in this game should look like this because it is a rock from the world of Lord of the Rings. I'm making a Lord of the Rings game. If you take a standard UE5 rock and put it into shoehorn it into the Lord of the Rings universe, and you have the same thing in a First Descendant, which is like a modern desolated world, apocalyptic world, you know, whatever, right, type of game, chances are the general audience at some point is going to catch up and look at all these things and say they're all the same. I don't see any uniqueness in this game. And very quickly you've turned a beloved franchise like Lord of the Rings or Star Wars or whatever it is you have into some generic thing because of some very early decisions that you've made with your game, right? Because you've just turned them into very boring, even though they're not boring, they're actually quite interesting, you know, universes on their own merit. You've taken this conscious decision to make everything, to formulate everything into this live service thing, and it's just become, it ultimately reduces the quality of the game and it undermines the developers also, right? Because the developers never get to decide these kinds of decisions, right? They don't make these decisions. It's a bunch of suits that are, you know, and this happens more and more to publicly traded companies. Look at all these amazing games that are coming out. Like how many demos? I mean, I can personally speak for 4 or 5 demos that I played in the last couple of months, which have completely blown my mind. Like we played Jump Ship, right, for example. Jump Ship feels like 5 other games put together. So you can argue that it is not genuinely original. It lacks, you know, it's a little bit like Mass Effect. It's a little bit like Outer Worlds. It's a little bit like this, a little bit like that, whatever. But look, none of those studios are. Where is the next Mass Effect? BioWare has been sitting on Mass Effect game for like over 10 years at this point. They just can't get themselves to create one because of all of this internal struggle, right? They're all publicly traded. They are beholden to their shareholders. Some point of time, someone at the top who has an MBA and is paid hundreds of thousands of dollars per month is going to tell them that, look, you got to stop doing what you're doing. We need to shoehorn a bunch of grindy mechanics in the game so that we can get people to earn something, and they feel so burdened by earning that they have to go and pay for XP boosts and you know, do this and do that and so on, and buy stuff from their store or battle pass. We need to find a way to earn, because if we don't earn this money, so basically a game that creatively started out to be let's say just a unique experience turns out to be this, I've seen this 100 times before, I'm not interested in this game anymore. That is what happened to Assassin's Creed, right?
Yeah.
That's what happened to all the... okay, if you are in denial and you say, okay, Ubisoft for just for playing the devil's advocate, Ubisoft has been cracking out some amazing games in the last few years.
さあどうぞ
There's nothing
見ていっ
wrong
て
with
ください
them.
よ
Why is their share price so low? Why are their investors backing out? Why are they losing money? It's because even the lowest common denominator audience are starting to feel the pain, feel the grind. These people would grind for hours and hours. They don't care about what else they've got to do. They would still do it. But even they are starting to feel the pain because they're starting to think it's boring. And when you see like all these indie games with far fewer funds, like 1/20th, 1/30th of the budget of these guys, pulling these off, you just think like, what is going on? I mean, yesterday we played 5 hours of Abyssius, and we were briefly talking about it yesterday, but Panther joined later into the night, and we just ended up playing. I played, I think, more than 5 hours of this game in one day. It is like Returnal, but it is in first person. It feels like you're playing Doom or Quake or one of these kind of Twitch-ish, very simple shooters, wherein you just move, strafe and dash, and you play. So you'll have like a very PC like control scheme to your game. So it's very nice and smooth to play with no latency at all, and it's not even dedicated servers. It's peer to peer. For the most part, we had no connection. For the most part, we had no connection issues, and it was a demo of all things. And it's a roguelite. So you, just like Returnal, you keep some things and you upgrade. But then when you go into an expedition, it is if you are done if something kills you in the expedition, you're dead. You can revive each other. It's 4-player co-op, and the scaling was so well done. 4-player is actually super intense and sweaty to play. 3-player is a little bit more relaxed, and 2-player is a little bit more relaxed than that. Really well done scaling. How does it does very simple things, but it executes in such an amazing way. Where is the proof in the pudding? The proof in the pudding is we played over 5 hours of it. We couldn't stop playing it. Came out of nowhere, right? Came out of absolute, and it's 4-player co-op. If you have remotely any interest in playing first person, you would absolutely enjoy this. Because it is pure adrenaline. It's like playing Returnal but in first person, and it has some deep mechanics in the game. It makes you keep coming back to it. And where did this come from? It came from nowhere. Morbid Metal, Jump Ship, this game, what was that, Biomorph. Like I played like a few demos in the last couple of months. All of them are indie. All of them are made by less than 100 people easily, and I'm pretty sure none of them are publicly traded companies. When they get published at the end, they might be published by Tencent or EA, whatever, it doesn't matter. But when the IPs are not from publicly traded companies, they're all indie developers.
Yeah. No, we're going to see more of those, because it's happening even just not in like game industries. It's happening in many other places also. So
これほどの品はありません。
Yeah, for sure.
恐れながら数が足りませんね。
また来よう。
It's very impressive. I think Game of the Years, I think the gaming industry is undergoing a course correction for sure, because definitely they are realizing that it is not sustainable to do in this particular way. The one that really showed it in flying colors in a almost a beautiful way was Baldur's Gate, right? So Baldur's Gate came out in 2023 and just blew everybody away. It's also turn-based, right? It's turn-based, but you can play the whole game in online co-op, like full campaign in co-op, which is I came to know only recently. I just can't believe that you can play that game in co-op because it is so story-rich. Some quests or side quests last for about 6 to 9 hours, apparently. That not to say that they are boring to play and they are grindy. That is the quest lines and the threads go. So it's a little bit like how we played in Witcher 3, where some side quests were quite long, and this game is full of it, full of those. So so that Larian, I think, really showed what they can do with this, and they made a Divinity Original Sin 2, which is like probably one of the highest rated games after Portal 2 and Counter-Strike or whatever. Some of the highest rated games on Steam, which is also turn-based top-down game. So I think more and more AA studios are showing AAA studios how to do, and Anyway, so yeah, I mean, so amidst all that, it's nice to see like something like Ghost of Tsushima, which is clearly from a AAA studio, just doing it well, right? Like attention has been put in all fronts and not just like let's just shove a large ass open world with some Jesper Kid music and call it something.
Yeah.
Where is this gift altar? I've been searching for it for a long time. I just wish Tsushima had more of those duels or battles that they have occasionally. Like all the hero quest lines end up in these kinds of duels or battles, but I just wish they had a bit more.
どんな鎧でも結構です。
Those were really cool. Anyway, 60 meters. do I go past this shrine? Is this a puzzle of sorts? It's got to be. The Sanctuary of Izanami, Kami of life and death. I don't hear any. Okay. Okay. I don't know what to do here.
よしいい子だ
I suppose I can do that. I can also do this Gosaku resume tail. Mount Omi. Mamushi.
Yeah!
酒井様
乗りを
あなたは
皆方針を案じていますがたまには気を休めないと。
ああ楽しんでおるようだな。
昔の私のようです。
菰田の戦の後俺も変わってしまった。
地獄でしたか。
菰田か。ああ皆討ち死に浜は血を吸って真っ赤に染まりまるで泥の沼。この世の景色ではない。
我らは南へ向かい 日が暮れてひどい嵐で立ち往生に。ある村で休んでいましたが、悲鳴で起きると母屋が燃えていた。猛虎の仕業でした。縛られて金田へ運ばれ、その後は討ち死にの方がマシだ。方針の所在が分かりました。
すぐに立つか。
はい。
行き先は
海岸の野営地。北へ向かう猛虎の船はそこで捕虜を乗せるのです。
沖に出られたらしまいだな。
酒井様、この戦を終えたらどうなさいます？
いつか故郷の近江に戻り再興するつもりだ。
私にもそんな気力があれば。これまでの人生、道は明らかでした。悟りの境地を目指し仏に仕える、それでよかったのです。
なら続ければいいだろ
う。入門したのは兄がいたからです。これからもずっと兄と共に修行してゆくものだと思っていました。こんなことになるとは。
全てを奪われたわけではない。いつか猛虎は消えるが、お主の人生は続く。
もう私の人生ではありません。死んでいった兄や仲間の供養をせねば。酒井様も菰田で死んだ者の命を背負っているのでは。
そうだな。死んだ者の分まで生きねば。
ですがたやすくはありません。
そうかもしれん。
猛虎襲来前の人生が遠い昔のように思えます。人事のよ
うに。20年も経てば今日のこともそう思える。
酒井様、方針は暴力を嫌うとお伝えしましたよね。
僧兵を非難しておるそうだな。
奴は武具すら嫌います。太刀も薙刀も。
助け出したら何を好むのか教えてもらおう。
Wait, did we do this?
間もなく野営です。
Late, okay.
勝負しろ。
This is fun that you can just switch mid combat.
Good joke.
万平です。倒しましょう。 神を見つけましょう。
誰か囚われておるな。
きっと方針です。
俺ならば兵に見つからずたどり着ける。猛虎ののろし術。
のろしを上げて注意を引きましょう。
その隙に救い出す。方針を助けたらあそこで会おう。
私が遅れても気にせずに必ず方針を村まで届けてください。生きて明石までお会いしましょ
う。のろしが上がったら方針を救う。
御仏のご加護がありますように。
Nikon pitin hluharvat way. Sumter havas nistjerson.
Et bag belengits bit.
Mitni hoda sayin har sidich. Suman horat sekwi.
Why did I shoot an explosive arrow?
Zombies by sayum bargote.
Vartanatha.
Ja.
Tengdway!
Archin!
Kun suntarla. No gagatsarol. Termun baistarla. Enda da çok çökla. Amar.
ノリをやったな。もうこの注意がそれるぞ。 ノリオやったな。もうこの注意がそれるぞ。
いけない。あなたはどなたです？
仲間だ。逃げるぞ。
できません。猛虎が杉寺に連れて行ってくれます。あそこの人々を急ぎ治療しなくては。
無駄口は聞かぬ。
いけません。私は残らねば。
酒井様、方針。
ノリオ、なぜここにおる？
近くの猛虎がのろしに気づいた。向かってきます。
そうか。方針下がれ。我らが守る。ノリオ頼むぞ。
Zipsegate Bild!
礼儀も知らぬ血の者どもめ、俺がこのなぎなたを持って教えてやる。
他の層も一緒なんだ。他の層も一緒なんだ。他の層も一緒なのか。
He had
みんな死んだ。私だけだ。
すまない。助けになればと思ったのだが、猛虎は私を探していた。皆を救うため従ったのだ。
どうして所在を知られた？
それは私にもわからぬ。だが杉寺に戻るよう脅された。治療のため。
敵の傷を癒すつもりなのか？
苦しみに敵味方があるのでしょうか。
敵によるな。
もしかして杉寺は落ちたのか？
どうだろうか。
ノリオ、遠兵が来る前に方針と村に戻れ。
猛虎が来たら
俺も一緒に手立てを練ろう。
力を持って力を制してはならぬぞ、ノリオ。
鎧を整えてもよろしいでしょうか。
新たな復讐を呼ぶだけではないか。
どんな鎧でも結構です。より頑丈になりました。あなた様のお役に立ててよかっ
酒井様。
どうしたのだ。
近くに猛虎が集まり戦の支度を。
金田の木に逃げるべきです。
逃げたとて猛虎に追われるだけだ。城に着くまでに一人残らず死ぬぞ。
ですが殺傷はできません。
村の者がそれに納得するか見ものだな。
ノリオ、どう思われるかよりも何が正しいかを重んじるのだ。かつては炎上の真似をし、今は酒井様か。己の頭を使え。
己ごときが兄の名を出すな。
やめよ。俺とノリオで戦えばよい。
お主らは隠れている。
お断りします。殺傷はしませんが逃げもいたしません。
俺は村を回り、急ごしらえだが策を講じておく。村の者を集め隠れるように言え。屋根から見渡せそう。
みんな自分の家族を連れて一ところに集まれ。
よく見渡せる。壁はない。どこからでも攻め込まれるな。湿地へ逃げればはぐれるものが多く出るだろう。いい餌食だ。寺か。隠れ家にいいな。あれは香炉か。中の灰に火薬を混ぜ濃い煙を起こせば姿を隠せる。村の者はノリオラに任せ、俺は猛虎と戦おう。おとりになれば時を稼げる。
酒井様、集まりました。
皆を連れて寺へ。
私も戦います。
もし寺が襲われたら誰が民を守る。
承知しました。
覚悟はしておけ。方針と互いに助け合うのだぞ。
みんな猛虎が着く前に寺まで行こう。敵はお侍様が倒してくださる。
皆さんどうかノリオの申す通りに寺に身を隠すのです。
急げ。足を止めるいとまはないぞ。
一人も置き去りにすることなく皆をお連れください。
早く寺へ急ぐんだ。
村外れで待ち構えておくか。蔵に隠れるか。来たな。香炉に火をつけるとするか。煙はお気に召すかな。
Bitte nu durchfällt! Нөгөө самурай чинь номсон тайпа.
Ахиж харвал одоо даалнаа тэр нэг.
Soldaten verdammt! Und da Gott all! Ja, Gott! برجلها انها حرفان وي ودوك تحرنا حنوي نقول تمرت نص تمام هيك حرفول برجي سموكا سمنا سلمت غنجون ямар ч урт мөрөд. Ой лог лог. Тэр биш байсан. Арсан хүнийхэд олчих. Атлой. Тэр тэнд байгаа юу? Ой, өнөөгч хартаа.ノリオラのところへ行くか。ノリオ！酒井様！これは何事だ。 猛虎に襲われ後ろを取られた時に砲身が身を投げ出して矢を受けて。
お主らは並の武士より勇ましい。
叫び声を聞くまで砲身がいたことに気づかず、振り返った時にはすでに死んでた。
己を責めるな。良いな。
土牢の覆いが外されるたびに仲間が殺された。 ある時酒の匂いをさせた兵が来て私の手を掴んで引っ張ったら兄がそいつに飛びかかったんです。飢えていて怪我に苦しみながら私を守ろうと。
ノリオ、もう良いぞ。
いえ、お聞きください。私は残され、奴らは兄を引きずっていった。杉寺から南へ火星に行った僧は皆死んだ。私を置いてみんな立派な僧です。私が死ねばよかったんだ。
同じことを考えてきた。何度もだ。なぜ俺たちなのかは分からん。だがな、島の民を救えるのは我らのみ。赤島の民を生かしたのはお主らだ。忘れるな。民は忘れん。
そうだよね、辛いよね。
櫛寺で助けがいるとノリオが申しておったな。
網は猛虎に奪われた。このままじゃ木の根を食う羽目になる。石川先生は死んでなかった。
うちの鎧は猛虎の武器にも負けません。
また頼むぞ。
志村さんの城が奪われたことがあったか。太刀についてのご用があればお役に立ちましょう。今は私にできることはありません。
アンは小賢しいやつだ。敵の心をくじく術をわきまえてやる。昔大暴れした熊のことを覚えてる。
アワの嫌いだったんだけどな。
昔夕日が沈む中、はるか向こうに鬼の姿をこの目で見ました。
Kushi farmstead, yeah. Ijima farmstead. I think Ijima should be the next place. Walls of Yarikawa.
旗はお持ちですか。ちょうど今足立家について記された巻物を読んでいたところです。初代は対馬の始祖と呼ばれてたそうですが、その言われはご存知ですか。
島中にあるかがり火台と有明の小金寺を建てたからだな。叔父上の城の守りを強くする際は足立殿も手を貸してくださったらしい。建物の弱みを見つける際もあり、槍川の反乱の折も尽力された。
さようなことが。教えてくださり恩に来ます。あなた様のご助力ありがたく存じます。他の武家の旗がありましたらお持ちいただけるでしょうか。
海賊から救ったのです。お侍、どうぞこちらへ。
面白い話を知っておるようだな。アモで会うとは驚いた。
お互い民が求める地へ行くようで、あなた様にも益ある話。幾桃と瀬の昔か、長尾忠頼公音に聞こえる弓取りなり、里吉社にて矢先外れず、弓矢八幡の覚えいとめでたく、弓取りに鎧を賜る。軽けれど敵ことこの上なし。殺しも海賊浜辺の村を略奪し、アモ浦の民を皆殺しにせんとす。民は皆走り散れど、忠頼公八幡の鎧をつけ一人で立ち向かう。海賊ども押し寄するに、忠頼公を引き固め矢を放てば、およそい殺し、残りし者の刀も鎧を通らず。幾年の後、忠頼公往生のほど、八幡の鎧も消えうせけり。人の曰く忠頼公の末裔なる者これを持ち、 ただ対馬を守るつわものの訪ね来るを待つ。紫の冠という地が忠頼公の言い伝えの中に残されています。そこは痣の北にあり、紫の菊が咲き乱れ、忠頼公もよく参られたとか。
猛虎を倒すためならば手段は問わぬ。良い鎧なら手に入れたいものだ。
比類なき鎧にございます。そして紫の冠で今も眠っているはず。
来い。
Zonder Sermstein. 起来！
텐드만! Яахсаар бидний хинэн чардгүй үлээ. 텐д만!
That's a hamburger. 지금 하라고!
Sonder Serem State.
지금 하라고.
이거 조심하다 진짜.
지금 하라고. Somterheimer, bist du? Sen hadna. Nuga samraç, nam somterheimer. Somon hur puste. Somon
Vi har kubben. Halsen 100 beslasen på.
지금 하라고. 어이, 너 그저 하다.
Zo'n versak.
내게 못 있어. 내게 못.
いい子だノブ。
Oh, this guy. To reach this guy. Kushi temple. Koshin construct.
待っておったぞ、堺人。行け、マッパ。
裏切り者のすげがさし、死であがなうがよい。
侍なぞ本物の武人とは言えぬ。我らが武勲を抜け抜けと盗む野党も同然。覚悟しろ。
かかってこい。
城育ちの軟弱者め。所詮この程度か。
息を切らしておるぞ。
城育ちの軟弱者め。所詮この程度か。
息を切らしておるぞ。
城育ちの軟弱者め。所詮この程度。
息を切らしておるぞ。
城育ちの軟弱者め。所詮
息を切らしておるぞ。 さらば浪人。枯れのにてたつき一つを忘れざる。覚えることの日々にかたしか。参る。飲む。さあ。これからも頼む。そちらの精鋭を出せ。
Hata herifler çıkarışı konuşuyor.
しいい子だ。
내가 못 있어.
逃がしてやる。
祈りが通じたようです。
道中気をつけよ。志村様が指揮を取ってくださらなければ死をめぐって同士討ちが起きそうだ。
Stand back!
Soldati in sight! Virglia Gorpe!
Atçıkta!
動くな。
このご恩は忘れません。
行け、達者でな。
小松はムクロだらけだった。あの光景は死。でも忘れられん。
Den gumbe!
待たせてしまったな。
やっと自由だ。
安全なところへ。抜かれてないぞ。
人殺すなんて俺にはできない。
Ciharło!
動くな。
小作様のような強さだ。お礼の印にこの鍵をお持ちください。
島を守るため使わせてもらおう。
街道は万兵だらけだ。
looks really cool.
よし。
身を移し茜の野にて神聖し文殊の加護で安くありけり
龍蔵曰くそなたは無類の剣客だとこの身で確かめさせてくれ。
信じた方が身のためだぞ。
俺は太刀と共に育った身だ。そなたの命の心配をするんだな。龍蔵の話、偽りではない。
それはどうかな。お主、なかなかの使い手であった。
Yeah, this feels like one of those battles.
見た者がいるだろう。吐け。
何も知りません。
白を切るつもりか。
知らん者は知らんのだ。
お侍、あなたからも言ってやってくれ。
何をか申してみよう。
Where is this guy?
失礼を。私は三郎。ウムギでは名の通った秋人でして。
名があるからなんだというのだ。なぜ皆を脅していた？
身内の行方が分からず、あやつらに話を聞こうとしただけです。何か知ってるに違いない。
家族はここで何を？
皆で島を出るためここで落ち合い、壱岐へ渡る手はずでした。
海へ出る？猛虎が陣取っておるぞ。
そのために仲立ちに大枚をはたいた。気に食わん連中ですが、すでに多くの者に手を貸したそうです。息子の丈太郎は泣き止まず、妻の秋は怯え、私が何とかしなければと。
しかし二人は消えた。仲立ちと共に。
あやつらは何か隠してるんだ。
俺が話を聞いてみよう。口出しするでないぞ。
承知しました。ただし加減はなさらぬよう。
おのおのこちらへ。聞きたいことがある。こやつの身内が先日まで野営におったらしい。見た者はおらぬか？ならば島から出すと持ちかける仲立ちを知っておる者は？
見た覚えがあります。女と玩具を持った幼子でした。
どこへ行った？
それは存じませんね。
そういったものは見ておりません。
一人ずつ話を聞こう。島を出る話をしていた家族は？
裕福そうな家族は誰も。長太ならいくつか言葉を交わしておるかもしれません。
どうか切らないでください。何も知りません。
昨日着いたばかりなので何も。
逃げおったぞ。捕らえろ。
おい待て。
俺は何も知らん。追わないでください。
なぜ逃げる？止まれ。
俺じゃない。申し訳ありません。殺さないで。
訳を聞こうか。
仲立ちが来て あの男の妻子を連れて行きました。後を追ったら見つかってしまい、誰かに話せば殺すと脅されて。
案ずるな、俺が守ってやる。二人はどこへ運ばれた？
西の海岸にある物見櫓へ。そこに船があるのでしょう。
あっちから音がした。尋常に勝負。よし。こちらの精鋭を出せ。おい、動く。
Fucking fighting the camera.
かけろ、ノブ。
三郎の妻子はどこにおる？
みんな勝負しろ。
腕試しと行くぞ。
こうもたやすく騙される。
みんな必死なんだ。目の前に望みをぶら下げてやれば信じやがる。
助けて。
待たせてしまったな。
ああ、助かりました。
無事でよかった。
どういうことです？船があるという話だったのに。
連中はお主らを殺し金を奪う算段であったのだ。女や子供は一緒におったか？
いや、我々だけです。
さようか。三郎の家族はまだ近くにおる。女と子供、死んで間もない。これは三郎の息子のものであろう。知らせてやらねば。
お侍様、お譲りいただけるものはございますか？お役に立ててください。
礼を言う。
お譲りできるのはこれだけです。目的を
ご遠慮なくご覧ください。戦でお使いください。道中のご無事をお祈りしています。お帰りで、それで私の家族は。
これを見つけた。
長太郎の。どういうことだ？
仲立ちがたばかりおった。船などなかったのだ。
なぜ？私は海に一の秋うど、たばかるなど。
無念だ。家族は手遅れであった。だが仇は撃っておいたぞ。
誰も救いもせずに。お主それでも侍か。 ら役立たずがなんと無会者だ。許さんぞ。
三郎、恨んでも仕方ない。残りの金を用いて島の民を助けてやるのだ。その前に二人を埋めてやれ。
あなた様を信じておりますよ。